Hey guys, okay, so today has been one of those weird days. I got up, the power kept going out, like on and off, on and off. I was trying to edit a video, my video kept effing up. It's been the biggest struggle of my life. I was like, you know what? Today is a weird day. You know what that calls for? Sharing with you guys a weird story. So in today's video, I'm gonna share with you the time that I called a psychic over the phone and got a little reading, if you will. All right, so let me take you back, I think a month or maybe even 2 months ago. Sorry, I just have to find it in my messages. Okay, so back in January 10th, 2018 to be exact, I was messaged by a girl named Jessica, and she said, "Hi Corey, Happy New Year. You are absolutely beautiful. I was curious if you might be interested in sharing your story on a show I started on my page called Wine and Jess. Facebook.com/Seeleedraw, SEELEEDRAW. To inform people who don't understand what it is / was like to walk in your shoes. I know that may be very forward of me to ask. I hope to hear from you. Lots of love sent to you. Thanks, Jess." So I messaged back, "Hi there. Firstly, that's very flattering. Thank you. I would love to hear more about this opportunity. Secondly, I read on your Facebook profile that you are a psychic medium." What? That's crazy. I've always wanted to meet somebody who had that kind of gift. I would love to know more about that too. Thanks for all the love and support, girl. Sending it all back your way as well. XO. So then she replied, "Hi Corey, I want to inform and enlighten people. Like myself, I am naive to so many things that people paint with negativity in the media, when in actuality it shouldn't be at all. It's a lack of understanding and a fear that creates the ugliness all around us. As somebody who deals with insecurities, having open conversations with somebody like yourself not only inspires me, but allows me to take a step back and see how fearless and strong you are. The reality is we all become who others want us to be, but yet you've broken that mold to be who you truly are. You've experienced things in life and a better understanding of yourself that people only dream of but never do anything about. I feel these stories should be shared, real vulnerable stories, not painted by the media. It goes hand in hand with what I do. I see the skeletons, fears, and desires people have, yet they are complacent within their lives. I don't want that. I want people to listen and hear what is truly in the world." She also wrote, "I would love to give you a reading if you were interested in one." Then I pretty much freaked out and was like, "Oh my god, you are the sweetest girl ever." Obviously I want a free reading. I've always wanted to go to like a psychic or a medium or whatever. I've always been one that wanted to believe in that kind of stuff, but I'm also a very, very, very big skeptic. All right, so I'm not sure how much time went by, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, but I decided to give her a call. To like my dramatic lights in the background, I think they add the atmosphere of the spooky story. It's not even a spooky story, to be honest. It's just it's a spiritual experience. All right, so I decided to give her a call. Now, I called her, she lives in Florida. She answered the phone and she decided to go outside and have the conversation outside. And I was sitting right here at my vanity, kind of pacing back and forth. Basically, she just answered the phone. We started talking about our lives. I asked her how she, realized that she had the gift. She asked me how I realized, I wanted to change my life and go in my own direction, and it was kind of nice. And Jessica, if you're watching this, I did ask her if I could share the story. I don't want to... Hello? What are you doing? Guest star appearance from Bay. Give me a kiss. See how gentle he is? He knows not to disturb the lipstick. I did ask her permission to share the story online. She definitely said it was okay. Anyways, let's continue. So basically we were talking and she said that she saw a spirit around me. She said that she saw an older woman. This older woman was wise, was, very experienced. She had a lot going on in the mind. And basically she was saying that this older woman is proud of me. She wants to send me love and support and all that kind of good stuff. I started off by saying, I don't know any older women because all my grandparents are still alive, thankfully. Like, I love them. I love all of them. So I don't know who the older spirit could be. I mean, it could have been like a great nanny or something like that, but again, I wouldn't know them, really. So then we get to talking, and because she was outside, she said that she saw a butterfly flying around her, and then she said, do butterflies mean anything to you? Because ever since she walked outside, there's been this butterfly there. And I responded with, no, butterflies don't mean anything to me. I've never had like a pet butterfly. I don't buy butterfly things. I've never really liked butterflies. I was trying to kind of think like, maybe it means like, you know, like I was a caterpillar and now I'm blossoming into a butterfly. Or, you know, something like that. I thought maybe it had to do with like a metaphor type thing. So then we continued on talking, and she was like, do you have a tattoo? And I said, yeah, of course I have a tattoo. I have 2 actually. And then she goes, oh, okay, is it on your shoulder? I see a tattoo on the shoulder. And I say, no, it wasn't on the shoulder, it's on my arm. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this girl is just like making up stuff in her head, just seeing things. And again, I'm a skeptic. I want to believe so bad, but I just want to be proven, you know? I was trying not to say anything that would give her an advantage. I just basically let her do all the talking, which again, Jessica, I'm sorry, but like, you have to be a little bit of a skeptic because like, it's freaking cool, and like, I'm a believer now. I'm a believer of you. Okay, so then Jessica was saying how the spirit had a message. And sometimes when a spirit has a message, it's not necessarily for the person that she's talking to. Sometimes it's for somebody else in your life. So she was like, can you stop being so self-focused and start thinking about other people in your life? And I was like, okay, this is supposed to be about me, but moving on. I'm just kidding. I was just really excited to hear about my life, but apparently the message was not for me, so we were moving on. So as soon as she said that, all of a sudden it clicked in my head. I was like, oh my God, my mom has a tattoo of a butterfly. So then I was thinking, okay, I'm not just gonna say it. I'm gonna make her kind of work for it. So I was like, where is this tattoo on the shoulder? She responded with, I see it on the back of his shoulder. And I go, okay, and what color is this butterfly that you see? She told me that it was a red butterfly. So I told her my mom actually has a tattoo on the back of her shoulder. It is a butterfly, but I told her I think it's a green or a blue. I think it's a blue or a green, something like that. I know it's not red. So then she responds with, this tattoo means a lot to your mom. And I'm thinking, yeah, like tattoos usually do mean a lot to people. People don't just get tattoos for no reason. Again, being a skeptic. So then she's talking about the message. She asks me if my mom is a happy person. And I reply with something along the lines of, I love my mom. My mom is like my #1 supporter. She's beautiful. She was my hero since I was like 5 years old. She raised me like she was a single mother. I mean, not that I didn't have dad, but you know what I mean. She's been through a lot, but she also is very, very stubborn, and we're very, very similar in personalities. Part of the reason why I look at my life and try to better like the way I think about things is because I know that she always kind of thought negatively about things, and she was kind of her own worst enemy. Jessica was like, wow. She's like, my mom is very similar. So this spirit wants you to tell your mom to smile. And I got a little bit of goosebumps, and I was like, oh my God, like, weird. Like, how does she know that, you know? Like, so then I was trying to figure out like more about this spirit, because I was like, okay, it could be like a great grandma or something like that. Like, I did have a nanny that passed away, but I really wasn't close with her, so I wouldn't really know anything about her, like her favorite color. She liked butterflies, stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't really know. Anyways, I thought that if we talked more about this spirit, I could get some sort of something that I could bring back to my mom and maybe figure it out for her sake after I was done the call and after the conversation. So basically we started talking about the spirit again, and she kept saying how it was an older spirit because it was a very wise spirit. It was very experienced. She said there was a lot going on in the mind. And then all of a sudden, she said the words that I needed to hear to confirm that the spirit was the person I thought it could have been because of the tattoo. My mom had a tattoo for a specific person, specific reason, but this person wasn't an older person. So then she goes, yeah, the spirit or this presence is an older person because there's a lot going on in the brain. She's like, there's a lot of pressure in the brain. And I was like, oh my God. I have goosebumps right now just thinking about it. And I've told this story like 1,000 times. Basically, my mom had a sister, I had an aunt that had passed away when I was 1 because she was riding a bicycle down a hill without a helmet on, and she had an accident, and unfortunately the damage was too bad to the brain that they couldn't sustain her life. And when she said the word pressure, I was like, could that be my aunt? Could that be my aunt telling my mom to smile? And she goes, yes, 100%. And it was just like, oh, right then and there, I was like, oh my God, like I made her work and bitch worked. Bitch worked it out. Okay, so another part of the story, I asked her after that if we could talk about my relationship. And she agreed. It was my turn to talk about me and learn some information about myself. So basically we talked about my relationship. She told me that it was a very different and trying relationship. And I explained to her how, yeah, it was new to me. It was very new, and it was a lot for me to accept. I love him and I love our time together and I love us together, but there was just certain things, you know, that have been very trying. So basically we're talking about my relationship, we're talking about my boyfriend James and about his hobbies and stuff like that. Just very casually, like if he's creative, what he does for work, blah, blah, blah. All of this, I know we've been talking probably about 10 minutes, and she goes, do you smoke weed? And I'm like, why? Why? I was raised that weed was like the devil. Like, you do not smoke weed. If I did it, my mom would die. I would die, the whole world would die. I thought it stunk really, really bad. I had friends in high school that did it, and I disowned them because they started acting like morons. They were abusing the substance, and just, I grew up thinking that like it changes your life and it sends you down the wrong road and all that kind of stuff. So then when I met James, he was raised a little bit differently. He's done it for a long, long time. His family does it. It's not that big of a deal. And now I know that it's not that big of a deal. And I've tried it and I do it sometimes. And I don't know if I want to disclose this information on this video, but it's part of the story. Anyways, hi Mom, if you're watching this. Sorry I didn't tell you. I hope to tell you before this video goes up. Love you. Anyways, back to the story. So Jessica, after 10 minutes about talking about James, goes, do you smoke weed? And I'm like, why? And she goes, because ever since you asked me about your relationship, all I could smell was weed. And I didn't know if it was just my next door neighbor or if it had something to do with you and your relationship. And I was like, okay, this is so weird. Like how? So then she continued by asking me, she said, can I take a shot in the dark and say that it's some of his social activities that you don't agree with? And I was like, yeah, it was very, very hard for me to accept the fact that he does it so often and it's a part of his life, because I grew up and it's been such a bad thing in my life. Like it was really, 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 really looked down upon. And then she just gave me some great advice. She told me to look back at my past and learn from it, but don't let it affect my future, and not picking fights about everything all the time, because that's what us girls do. Holla if you're with me. But yeah, basically that's my story. That's my story of talking to a psychic medium. Her name was Jessica. Again, I will have everything linked below if you want to go message her, if you want to talk to her. She's very, very sweet. She's beautiful. She's young. She's cool. And if anything, she's just somebody cool to talk to if you're going through a hard time. I don't know how much she charges or anything like that, but if you do go to her, let her know that you came from me, because it'd be cute if she heard that. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys thought it was cool, thought it was interesting. Let me know in the comments below. Are you a skeptic? Are you a non-believer? Are you a believer? Do you believe? I want to know. Let me know of your stories down below. I would also love to hear of any of your stories as well. I have literally been asking all of my clients at work all of their experiences with like psychic mediums and like ghost encounters and stuff like that, spirits, because I find it so fascinating. And again, I just want to be proven that like it's bigger than we are, you know? I want to believe that there's something bigger than us in the world, and I'm a big skeptic of things. I need things to really be like pushed in my face and shown to me. So I would love to hear your stories down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having a good day. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.